Hello, everyone. My name is Nicole Vincent, and I am here to teach you about some amazing essential oils this day. Every week, every Monday, we have a 30-minute webinar talking about different doTERRA essential oils, essential oil blends, and doTERRA products to help us understand how to use these fabulous oils and products to their full capacity and in new and exciting ways. So first off, I'm not a doctor. I'm not prescribing anything. I am just educating you. So please remember that as you listen to this demonstration. So our first oil today is the oil of Cassia. This is a beautiful cinnamony-like aroma. Actually, most of the cinnamon that we use in the United States is actually Cassia because it's a lot cheaper. And it's close enough that most people cannot smell a difference. So, but once you smell Cassia and then you smell cinnamon, you're like, whoa, okay, the cinnamon has a lot sweeter tones, and I prefer the cinnamon. Cassia is just a little bit more earthy to me, but they're very, very, very close. They're cousins, so their properties are a lot of similar, have a lot of overlap, and we're actually going to be talking about both of these oils today. So, Cassia is steam distilled from the bark. It is grown in China. This is a super, super hot oil. You never, ever want to put this on your skin without diluting it first. Because of its high phenol content, chemically, it can create sensitivity in the skin and create sensitization, which means that every time you apply oils to the skin, even if it's not Cassia, your skin can have a reaction. So we want to be very, very careful when we are applying Cassia topically. A little bit goes a really long way. So even on adults, you can use just one drop to like a teaspoon or even a tablespoon, still have completely effective results, but not irritate your skin. So please, please keep that in mind when you are using Cassia topically. This is an oil that is not my first go-to to use topically, but it can be very great. It is a warming oil, and so it does helps with circulation, and it helps with pain. It is analgesic. So sometimes if we have muscle aches in our family that Deep Blue just isn't cutting it, then we'll introduce some Cassia as well. And in Chinese medicine, there's two different kinds of heats, and this is going to be really like a little snippet. So if this is more of what you like to learn, then I'll point you to some references of that. But in Chinese medicine, you have warm heat or warm pain and cold pain. And when you have something that's warm, you need to cool it down. And that's when Deep Blue would be a great blend to do it, because Deep Blue actually has cooling oils that cool it down. If you have a cold pain, it's very sharp, it's very specific location, you need to warm that pain up. And so using a warming herb such as Cassia or cinnamon can be very, very beneficial to help reduce that pain. Again, you want to highly dilute it, but it can be very beneficial. Other uses for Cassia include digestion. This is a great oil to put in a capsule and take to help soothe digestion, especially if your digestion is a little bit sluggish. If it's kind of just having a hard time to get moving, this can be a great oil to use to help with that. It is also a great antimicrobial oil. So it helps kill bacteria, viruses, fungal issues, all those yucky things that we do not want in our bodies. And again, you can use that internally, put it in a capsule, and take that down. It can also really help like with the circulatory system, as again, it's a warming oil. And so it just helps get things moving. Especially if you tend to be cold-natured, you might need some more warming herbs, such as the cinnamon or the Cassia in your life to help get everything warmed up internally and help your system get a little bit more balanced and moving along. It also, if you look at the chemistry of Cassia, it's mostly phenols. And phenols, again, are very hot chemical components, but phenols are great because they kill everything. It's just like boom. It's like microbes cannot really live in their presence, and so that's why it is a great oil to either diffuse or take internally if you've got some pathogens floating around or in your body. Just again, be careful. This is a hot oil, so just always dilute it or put it in a capsule. If you are using Cassia internally, 1, maybe 2 drops at the most is what you need. It's a little bit goes a long way with Cassia. You don't need a lot. Oh, wrong button. So emotionally, Cassia is very, very powerful. It's the oil of self-assurance. So if you struggle with feeling embarrassed, you're hiding, you're stuck in patterns of fear a lot, you tend to feel humiliated, you're insecure, you're judged, you're shy, you feel worthless, Cassia can be such a great oil for you. And it just really helps bring in courage. It brings in just confidence to help you if you're shy or timid or you're trying to hold back. This just dispels fears and just fills you with self-assurance. So if you really do struggle with this, combine some Cassia with some bergamot. Either apply it on the bottoms of your feet or even better, stick it in your diffuser. About 1 drop Cassia and 3 to 4 drops bergamot. And this can be a completely empowering blend that helps you feel strong and self-assured and confident in moving forward. It helps you, especially if you're afraid of making mistakes. And so I'm not going to take any action because I might screw it up, right? We all feel that sometimes. And so Cassia helps you move forward and be okay with making those mistakes sometimes. It helps you see your own brilliance, value, and potential. And it really helps you discover your innate gifts and talents. So this is a very powerful emotional oil. And I love it. Again, if we're going to be using this emotionally, I would typically stick this in my diffuser, either by itself or with other oils to help boost those emotional properties. Now, again, if you are going to be putting Cassia or any hot oil for that matter, Cassia, cinnamon, oregano, thyme, any of those, really hot oils, we don't want to diffuse it right by where your eyes or your face is, right? We don't want to stick it right by the bed, or if you're sitting at a desk, you don't want the diffuser right by your desk, because as those particles go in, yes, it's diluted, but those tiny itty bitty particles that get thrown in by the diffuser, they can be irritating to your eyes. And if you're right there, like if you're just in the room, it's totally fine. But if you're like within just a foot or 2 of the diffuser, it can be irritating to your eyes and even your nasal passageway sometimes. So just be mindful of that when you're diffusing these oils. Okay, the next oil we're going to talk about is cedarwood. And I love cedarwood. Cedarwood is such a powerful yet underutilized oil. Now, this comes from the wood. It's steam distilled. It's grown in the USA. And what's beautiful about cedarwood is its chemical makeup. It is almost 100% sesquiterpene compounds. And we love sesquiterpene compounds for a few reasons. Number 1, they are larger molecules, and so they are like nature's time release. And so it is just like a nice, slow and steady release of the essential oil benefits, which I love. Because sometimes, like the phenols in Cassia and cinnamon that we'll talk about here in a minute, are just like, boom, they're like right to the point. They move super fast, and they need to be repeated frequently, okay? Cedarwood, with all the sesquiterpene compounds, it doesn't need to be repeated. It's nice and slow and steady. Another thing that we love about sesquiterpene compounds is sesquiterpene compounds can actually cross the blood-brain barrier, which is huge for positively affecting our neurochemistry. So as we talk about cedarwood, you'll see why that's important. So first off, cedarwood is amazing for our skin. It is a very earthy, cedary scent because it smells like cedar. But on your skin, if you've got aging concerns, you maybe have some uneven skin tones, what I love it best is for more irritated skin, like a psoriasis or an eczema issue. Cedarwood is incredibly calming and balancing. Now, a few reasons I love it for the psoriasis and the eczema specifically is because it's antifungal. And the eczema and psoriasis typically have fungal roots, typically a candida overgrowth internally that is oozing out of the skin and causing those skin outbursts. And so cedarwood, because it's soothing and it's antifungal, it really helps soothe those specific outbreaks. Now, again, although cedarwood is incredibly gentle, you can put it on directly on the skin for most people. When you're dealing with any kind of rashes, any kind of skin eruptions or outbreaks, you always want to dilute, because that skin's already angry. It's already open and sensitive. Don't make it angrier. Don't make it have to go through more pain than it needs to. So applying it with some fractionated coconut oil or some virgin coconut oil or any kind of your favorite carrier oil, cedarwood can be very, very soothing to those outbreaks. This is a great oil also to help work out knots. So if you're one that tends to get a lot of knots in your muscles, cedarwood massage into those knots is phenomenal at helping them relax and release. And again, it's because it's got all of these sesquiterpene alcohols and ketones, which are very calming, very soothing, telling everything to relax, saying it's okay, let go, relax, we're okay. Another thing that cedarwood is great for is our neurochemistry because of all the sesquiterpene compounds. Cedarwood, I love to use this for those that have ADHD or ADD brains that just go, right? And sometimes that can have us having a hard time falling asleep, right? Our brains are just going so fast. Cedarwood is fabulous to help calm that down. I love to apply it either on the back of the neck or diffusing it. And you can even apply it on the reflex points for the brain on the bottom of the foot, which is the bottom of the big toe. And it is just a great brain calming oil. So if you have anxiety, if you're having racing thoughts or your brain just won't shut down because you've got ADD or ADHD, this is a great oil to help calm and temper those racing thoughts. So I love this oil for when our brain needs a little love and a little calming. Another great thing, which is kind of like duh, is that cedarwood is a natural insect repellent, right? We make closets out of cedar. We have cedar balls to repel moths in the closet, right? So of course this is going to repel pests. So this is a great oil to add into your Terra Shield. I think it's already in there, but you can add some extra if you need a little extra oomph in your bug repelling needs. This is also shown to be 100% effective at repelling and killing, I'm pretty sure it's killing, bed bugs. And so this is a great one, especially if you're a traveler, to mist your suitcase before you travel. Have some cedarwood. Just put a few drops with a little bit of Epsom salt and then fill that with water. And you can just reuse a little bottle and get a little spray top and just travel with that. And you can just mist your suitcase. Your clothes will smell a little lidsey, but that's okay. It's better than other smells, right? And it's better than bringing home bed bugs. So just keep that in mind. It's an awesome, awesome oil for that. Now, emotionally, this is the oil of community. This helps us feel connected. It helps us feel that we're part of something bigger than ourselves. And so if you really struggle with forming bonds within social groups, maybe you're a little socially awkward, or you just have a hard time connecting with others, apply cedarwood over your heart or over your solar plexus before you go into situations, and this can help you connect better with others. It helps you feel a sense of belonging, helps you open your heart to receive connections, because sometimes we might have been hurt in the past, we might have been betrayed or anything like that that can prevent us from being able to make those connections. And so cedarwood helps us say it's safe, it's okay to make these connections. It helps you see that you're not alone. It helps you be able to give and receive love. So it helps you feel connected, belonging, supported, strong social bonds, neighborly, and joy in relationships. So I love cedarwood. Very, very versatile oil. Now, cilantro. This is a final oil that I think gets a bad rap because people either they love cilantro or they hate cilantro, right? In our food. It's a common spice used in a lot of different cuisines. I'm from Texas, so I see this the most in my Tex-Mex, which I love, but not everybody loves it. But it is steamed. This cilantro and coriander actually come from the same plant, but coriander oil is distilled from the seeds, and cilantro is distilled from the leaves. So they have different chemistry. Of course, there's going to have some overlap because they're from the same plant, but from these different parts, they have different chemistry, which yields different benefits. So cilantro smells like cilantro. And it's not as harsh as you think it would be, but it is a strong one. And so this is not one that you necessarily want to stick like 5 drops in the diffuser and let it go. I will diffuse this one sometimes. If I am, I usually put it in with some citrus oils and maybe 1 drop cilantro and then a lot of citrus oils. And you'll see when we talk about the emotional properties why this is such a great oil to diffuse. So this is a great oil to cook with. I love to add this to my guacamole and different Mexican dishes. Just 1 drop goes a long way, so don't be heavy-handed or it's going to be a little overwhelming. You can also just drop a toothpick in there and swirl that in there if you like a lighter cilantro flavor. This is a great oil at detoxifying our bodies of heavy metals. So most of us are going to have heavy metal toxicity because we've had vaccinations, we've taken medications, we use non-natural deodorants, we use different products. There's heavy metals everywhere. And our body doesn't really know how to detoxify from them. And so cilantro actually helps our body release those components, those heavy metal components, and release them in a natural way. So if you feel that you could benefit from that, then I would recommend taking cilantro internally. Now, this is one that likes to be burped up easily. So if I do take it internally, if I am doing a detox, I usually will combine it with some citrus oils because those are a little bit more pleasant to burp up, and even sometimes some coconut oil. So just keep that in mind if you do want to use this for heavy metal detox. You can take it internally. 2 to 3 drops twice a day is very effective, and you can do it for as long as you feel that you need to. This is not a super strong oil that's going to stress out the liver, and it is cleansing. So just pay attention to your body and see what your body likes. This is a great oil for your digestive tract. So it helps if you feel bloated. This can help with gas. It can just help your body just process everything a little bit better. It is a great oil. It's pain relieving as well. It has some anti-inflammatory and or analgesic effects because it's got these aldehydes and it's got these alcohols in there that are going to help soothe and calm the body. Now, again, it's got those sesquiterpene compounds, which we love. So it's got that time release effect. So it lasts a little bit longer. It doesn't get metabolized as quickly as something with monoterpene components. So just keep that in mind as you're using this. It is also a great oil to help kill off infections. So this is a great one to add in if you're fighting something and you want to create like a little flu bomb. Add a drop of cassia, a drop of cilantro, a drop of oregano, and this can help really just help get rid of everything. But you're going to need to repeat that. Just 1 capsule is not going to get rid of it, so you have to probably do that for at least a couple days. But doing that every 2 to 3 hours can really help boost your immune system and help it get rid of those pathogens that it does not want in the body. Now, cilantro emotionally, this is where I use cilantro the most often, it's the oil of releasing control. So if you struggle with feeling controlling, maybe you have a toxic personality, you're just always negative, you feel constricted, you obsess about things, you feel clingy to different ideas or people or patterns, you feel emotionally trapped, this is the oil for you. For me, it is the control. I'm a control freak. I'm the firstborn, and I think that we tend to be a little controlling. But it really helps you release control. It helps you release those, just as it releases the heavy metals within the body, it helps you detoxify from negative emotions and negative emotional debris as well. And so it just, let's say you say, I don't know about this emotional stuff, Nicole. That's okay. If you are using this for heavy metal detoxification, it will be releasing emotional stuff as well. So you might see stuff come up as you were using it internally. It really helps lighten the load by releasing issues buried deep within you. So as those are released, sometimes it's a non-event. Sometimes for me, when I release emotion, I yawn a lot. And so I will have a yawn and I know that released. Some people will have a burp. Some people will have flatulence. Some people will have a sneeze. Some people will have a rash or a headache or some emotional stress. So everybody's body releases those trapped emotions in different ways. So just pay attention and see how your body's talking to you. It helps you shed what's not in harmony with your true self. And if you are obsessively trying to control others or your environment, then this is the oil for you. This really helps you just say, okay, what can I let go of? What don't I have control of, right? It really facilitates emotional cleansing and encourages the release of worry and control. And it liberates the soul from heavy burdens and helps you to feel light and free. So I love this oil for its emotional properties. Again, if you're going to use it emotionally, you can put a drop in your hand, breathe that in, or you can stick it in your diffuser. Our last oil for today is cinnamon bark. And all the other oils we've talked about today come in the 15 milliliter bottle, but cinnamon bark comes in the 5 milliliter bottle. It is a little bit more of an expensive oil, and it is one of the most adulterated oils in the marketplace. So when you, because it is so similar in scent to Cassia, and a lot of people do not know the difference, a lot of companies, not doTERRA, but a lot of other companies out there, laboratory tests have shown that they're using Cassia and labeling it as cinnamon, or they're diluting it or other parts of the cinnamon tree and distilling that. It's not actually the bark, it's other parts of the tree, and it doesn't have the same chemical makeup and benefits that the cinnamon bark has. So just be careful of that and be mindful of that. And when you smell cinnamon bark oil, it is such a sweet, spicy scent, and it is just, I absolutely love the smell of cinnamon bark. It just is, it's so nice. And again, this is a super, super, super hot oil because it has, it's got phenols and it's got a phenol propanoids, which are unique to cinnamon and make it where there's not a bacteria, a virus, or a fungus that can live in the presence of cinnamon bark oil. And so this is a great oil. It's in our On Guard blend. It's in our On Guard Plus soft gels. This is an oil that I love to use for immune support. Now, again, this is not one I typically will apply topically. If I am going to dilute it, and I'm going to keep it on the feet in most cases. It is a great oil to help relieve some muscle pain as well. But again, I actually like Cassia just a little bit better for those pain relieving analgesic properties. I really like cinnamon for its antimicrobial properties. It is also fabulous for blood sugar regulation and support. So if your pancreas needs a little love, a little attention, cinnamon bark is a great oil to use. There's been a lot of hype recently. A lot of people are taking cinnamon bark herb in capsules to help with blood sugar regulations because we have an epidemic in our country and around the world of type 2 diabetes and pre-diabetes. And it's because our diet sucks, right? For most of us, we really struggle with that. We love our sugars and we love our carbs. And so cinnamon bark can actually help regulate blood sugar levels. And this isn't like a free pass, like, hey, go to a pastry buffet and pick out every day. That's not what this is for. This helps over time. And so I would do just a drop in a capsule on a daily basis. You can even make a tea out of this, but I would be very, very careful because, again, it is a very hot oil. So if you are making a tea, I would just do one drop in thing and make sure you mix it up well so that you are not going to burn your lips. So be careful with that. And you might want to make sure you have something fatty in your tea, maybe a little bit of milk or some virgin coconut oil, just to help have something that the oil can bind to so it's not just floating at the top of your tea water. So just keep that in mind. This is just such an awesome oil for your digestive system as well. It is one of the oils that I actually use for stinky gas bombs. So every once in a while, right, we get some stinky gas. It's not fun. Maybe your husband gets stinky gas. Maybe your kids do. I do a drop of cinnamon bark and a drop of fennel essential oil in a capsule. Take that and then do that again and repeat it in about 30 minutes. And usually after the second dose, you're clear, you're good. Everything's smelling a little fresher. And everyone's stomach's feeling a little better as well. So cinnamon bark, it is a great oil for the digestive tract as well. And it is just such a fabulous oil. It's anti-infectious. So you can add this with your oregano, with your cassia, with your cilantro. There's a lot of different things that you can add to help boost your immune system. Now, cinnamon is also known for its benefits for our sexual health as well. So emotionally, it's the oil of sexual harmony. Now, cinnamon oil is it's a warming oil, very similar to cassia. It warms, and so this has been used historically to help warm the genitals, very diluted, of course, and to help stimulate blood flow to those areas, especially if you have struggles in that area. For both men and women, just you can highly dilute this, and maybe a tablespoon or two with 1 drop cinnamon. Just test it out. Be careful. But this can actually be a very great massage oil to help stimulate blood flow and help stimulate sexual function for both men and women. Just be careful and find out the best ratio for you. You can always add more. It's harder to take it away. So just be mindful of that. But the scent is very aphrodisiac-like in its effects. And so that brings us to the emotional benefits of this. So especially if you struggle with your body image or your physical attractiveness, cinnamon emotionally helps you feel more attractive. It helps you dispel fear of rejection and nurtures a healthy sexuality. That is part of our health. That's part of a healthy, happy life, is healthy sexuality. And a lot of times it gets ignored or it gets distorted. And so having this oil really helps bring that into a healthy balance of what it should be. It helps rekindle sexual energies when there has been repression, trauma, or abuse, especially if you've been abused as a child, or maybe you had a partner that was abusive, or maybe pornography addictions or things like that that can bring trauma into a sexual relationship. This can be very, very beneficial at helping restore healthy balances. It nurtures relationships based on mutual love and respect, and it invites individuals to be honest and vulnerable, thus allowing true intimacy to emerge. So if you do struggle in the sexual health department, really look at this oil, and jasmine essential oil as well. Those 2 oils are so fabulous for helping us heal ourselves sexually, and just help, especially the different beliefs and perspectives around that area of our life. Those 2 oils are fabulous for that. So thank you so much for joining me. Join me next Monday, same time, same place. Join me on Facebook, Nicole R. Vincent. Like my page and join our group, and we will have that information for you to learn more in the future. Have a great week. We'll talk to you soon.